This lake looks really nice, actually. It's very quiet. Lots of snags, which could be interesting. I'm actually using a thing called a circle hook. Now that looks like it's just not going to hook anything at all. The point just coming in here, that's just not going to hook on anything. But in fact, if that's the fish's mouth, what happens is it just comes and turns, and there it is, right in the corner of the mouth. Oh, there we go, that was one. I just saw this red tail come up, fraction of a second, but I recognise it now. That was an Arapaima. And what I've got to do is try and quietly get into position so I can actually put a bait near that fish. One thing that I learned from the tribes people, which is actually quite hard to do, but I've just got to be patient.
Yes. Yeah. That's a fish, that's a good fish. Close up.
Can see the fish.
As the battle with this Arapaima approaches the half-hour mark, I'm reminded that the rebellious, proud spirit that inhabits this fish even refused to surrender to the gods.
Precis, alguém para pegar.
Right, it's got to be out.
There we go.
Alikash, meu boss aqui. Oh, look at that, it came out so easily.
Yes.
Okay, we're ready. There it is. Look at that for a fish. Look at that. Massive female Arapaima, about 150 pounds.
I finally have the proof in my arms that huge Arapaima are still out here.
This is a true dinosaur of the deep.
I need this fish to regain its strength after our battle before I release it. If I put it straight back, it might not have the energy to swim to the surface to take a breath. And being an air breather, it would drown.
Just the head a little bit under the water. And pointing up towards the bank so that if it does thrash, there's only one way it can go. In theory, which is not back into the water, although they can just double around 180 degrees. Even at the end of a long fight, I can still feel the strength of this fish. So I can absolutely imagine this thing being able to knock over. Oh, there we go. That's good. Look at boom. That was good. That was the fish just having a breath, which is excellent. It means the fish is not too tired out. But I mean, mainly this fish is just a bony head with a big cylinder of muscle behind it. And if this fish wasn't tired out, I don't think I'd be able to hold it. That's good. No, it's gone. We were just wondering if it had enough strength to go, and no doubt about it, I just couldn't hold it. And in fact, at the end of an epic battle on the line, but also an epic quest trying to find one of these things, but finally feeling the strength of it. It's not long before I get my next bite, and this one feels much bigger. This fish could be bigger than I am. When the fish wants to go, I'm letting it go, but I'm letting it go under pressure. It's having to work for the line it takes away. And then when the fish takes a bit of a breather, I'm hoping, you know, in those little gaps, I can gain a wee bit of line. I think we might be an idea to cast off. Jack, I think it might help if we cast off. Are we going? Are we on our way? This is a long, long run. We're running out of line here. We're running out of line. We need to go quick. We're on the backing. We're on the backing. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's the end of my line there, off the reel. I want to get the proper line back on the reel. Right, there we are. We've got the line back on the reel here. That was hairy. I was just watching my line going. That line's coming up in the water. There's the fish. There's the fish. There it is. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Ah, I've seen the fish now. That is certainly a big fish.
It's taken me half an hour to bring this sturgeon in. Knowing that this is only around half the length they can grow to, I now totally believe that a larger one could drag a tree stump into the water.
That was a tiring fight. I've caught some big fish in fresh water. This is probably the biggest freshwater fish I've caught. About 300 pounds, this one. It's, you know, a real monstrous fish.
Another thing that's very notable about this fish is that it's actually got very small eyes for such a large animal. And I think what that tells you is, you know, that vision doesn't play a very big part in its world, finding its way around and also finding food. And if you look a little bit closer at the head, you know, you see those 4 feelers hanging down near the mouth, and that's how it tastes the water. That's how it found the bait, the scent trail coming down the current. That's what led it to my bait. What's also interesting here, I mean, there's such amazing patterning all over the fish, but here on the snout you've got these vibration sensors, the kind of thing that most fish have down the lateral line to pick up any vibrations in the water, which, you know, could tell them where prey is. It's just like, you know, if you're a human being, it's just a sense that we're not used to, just feeling vibrations. But very, very apparent there that a fish like this lives in a totally different world, perceives its world in a totally different way down there in the dark water, 90 foot down. In terms of its difference from other fish and in terms of its size, I mean, this really is a remarkable creature. That's actually 105 or even 106 inches. That's 8 foot 10 inches, nearly 9 foot. Nearly 9 foot, this fish. It's quite a thought. That's 1.5 times me. At 9 feet, this fish is roughly 80 years old, but they can live to over 100. Although it's, you know, you could say it's predatory. It's eaten quite a large dead fish, but there's no teeth in there at all. I can put my hands in there. See, it's very telescopic. You can imagine that just extending and literally just sucking in a small fish. Having only gums means it couldn't have been teeth marks on the propeller, but I think I know what caused them. And what's interesting about a sturgeon, it hasn't got a bony skeleton the way we have or the way most other fish has. It's just got cartilage, but what it has got, it's got bony plates on the outside of the body, not totally covering it, but just in rows, and these are, you know, some form of protection. They really are, you know, sort of quite tough bits of bone. There we go. And also a very bony head, very bony gill flap as well. I believe Bill Treffon's parents actually ran over a white sturgeon, and the propeller going over its bony plates caused what looked like teeth marks. It may not have any teeth, but this mouth is perfectly formed for being a bottom feeder, eating mollusks and small fish. This would explain why it is so rarely seen on Lake Iliamna or Lake Clark, because it spends most of its time in up to 1,000 feet of water. Yet just when I'm ready to try and catch one of these slippery monsters, I run into an unexpected problem. In wilderness areas like this, fishing for eels with hooks is now strictly forbidden. I've no choice but to give up my usual methods and start from scratch. Eel fisherman Vic Thompson is my teacher.
I'm going to make a bob for you. Simply find a bit of steak like that, or a bit of any red meat, cut it into a slim slice. And I've got a bit of mackerel fish here, which adds a bit of flavour.
Yep.
You have a bit of wool, just ordinary darning wool needle, thread through like that to start with, pull it right through, and then you just wind this around like that.
Yeah.
After you've done the first layer like that, you've got to put a loop on here to attach it to your line.
The theory is simple. When the eel bites, its teeth get tangled in the wool. I must then drag it ashore before it shakes itself free.
So there you've got your loop on your bob. Good,
Nice.
good bite size for an eel. You
So I
come
guess
in-
the angler doesn't have the hook. The eel actually has the hook in this situation, doesn't it?
That's right,
The eel
that's
has lots
teeth-
of hooks in its
teeth and
mouth,
top, yeah.
so they hook onto the wool. Very low tech, but very, very effective by the sound of it.
Very effective.
It all sounds straightforward, but as I head for a deserted spot on a deep water lake, I'm not so sure. The method I've just learnt is a traditional Maori technique known as toi, or bobbing. One clear benefit, at least, is that with no hooks involved, there's little danger of spilling the eel's toxic blood. Assuming I can catch one. Having cast my very first hookless bait, I wait for a bite. If anywhere has super-sized eels still prowling the depths, it has to be a place like this. Without a hook, though, I'm in virgin territory. It feels like I've been disarmed.
It's still in the mouth, it's still in its mouth. Look at that, just came out. Oh, come here. There we go. My first fish on a bob. The technique actually works, and it works for two reasons. A bit of role reversal here. Normally it's me providing the hook. This eel has got hundreds of little hooks in its mouth in the form of teeth, and that's why it catches onto that bob. It sort of hooks in, but the other thing is it's a predator, and so it thinks that bait is getting away, so it hangs on, and then if I'm quick about it, it's up on the bank before it actually knows what's going on. Okay. Oh, it's all right, I'm putting you back. No need to struggle, I'm actually putting you back. Lovely, I've just caught a fish without using a hook. It absolutely works. I decide to try a trick I learnt on a previous adventure. Got deep water here very close to the sides. It's a very steep bank there that just continues. And about 25-30 yards out, there's actually, it's the old riverbed. And remembering back to Wells catfish in Spain, you get a bait in the old riverbed, that was always productive. So hoping that the same thing here. This plan seems to be working. I get immediate interest in my bait. Yeah, that's a good fish, that's a good fish. Shallow water, it's dashing, it can't go down, so it's going side to side. That was within minutes, seconds even almost, of putting the bait out. Keep it away from that other line there, getting some side strain on it. Unlike yesterday, it seems that the big fish are now on the move. This feels exciting. This is good size. I can see, oh, see the flank of that. Oh, yeah. Lovely, lovely. That's a good sign. Slacken off the drag a little bit. Where's the net? Oh. Lovely, in the net. This one weighs in at 58 pounds. Ah! Oh, yes. Oh, gosh. People think catfish are ugly, slimy scavengers, but I mean, this fish is just a muscular predator. And there's a big mouth on here, very capacious mouth. And there's no teeth as such, but I can feel, well, it's like lots and lots and lots of very close set points there for gripping. If they do grip something, they don't let go. But yeah, lovely fish. These rows of tiny teeth would be ideal for gripping onto a human corpse underwater.
And, like alligators, catfish can spin, which would allow them to rip flesh or even limbs off the body.
If we went over the back, yeah, close to 4 feet. 8 inches across the head, a good 6 inches.
Scaling that up to the size of catfish that Tim saw, the mouth would be big enough to fit around somebody's head.
There are big fish in this lake. That would be frightening to actually bump into that in low visibility. You know, you literally don't see it until you're a couple of feet away.
But there's no time to recover, because straight away I've hooked another fish.
Oh, massive bubbles over there. I think that was, no, that was it or another fish. Yes, 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 yes.
Could this be the one?
I'm going to come over there. I need to come there. I need to come there.
At this angle, the fish will snag my line. With no room to maneuver, I have to get into the lake.
There's a hell of a fish if this is hooked in the mouth.
I'm not sure if I'm playing the fish or it's playing me. After a full half hour, finally it begins to tire.
Gosh. Incredible fish.
This monster is a catfish, but the wrong one.
Mekong giant catfish. It's still fighting me. It's still fighting me, this fish. Mekong giant catfish. This fish is known to grow over 600 pounds. Only 650 pounds is the biggest one, authenticated. But this one actually rose and took a piece of maize dangling under a float. Took something about the size of my fingernail. Can you imagine? Turned into a fish like this. Incredible, strong fish.
There's clearly something big out there, but I'm getting ever closer to my radiation limit. The only option is to persist on the channel in the hope that losing that fish hasn't spooked any others nearby. My body is being constantly bombarded by radiation, and I'm teetering right on the edge of my time limit, when finally, I set the hook.
It's a fish, a fish. I need the gloves.
Until this fish is analysed by Dimitri, I've no idea how radioactive it is and what risk it poses to me.
So this is it. This is the som. Long, dark, tapering body shape, the wide head, slimy skin, tentacles, teeth a bit like a worn-down brush. Yeah, absolutely positive ID.
I'm finally holding the biological black box I've been searching for. I may have caught bigger, but never a fish as extraordinary or significant as this. Dimitri's research will later reveal that far from being the mutant giant of science fiction, this Chernobyl catfish is under half the normal size for its age, its stunted flesh harbouring 16 times the usual level of radiation.
So I came to Ukraine to investigate stories of a fearsome water monster living in a remote, rural corner of the country, only to find it long gone, the victim, as is so often the case everywhere, of relentless human progress. So how strange that I should find this fish here, the site of the world's worst radiological disaster.
The hunters rise early and, focused on their task, leave me struggling to keep up. Overnight rain has turned dust into mud, and I worry whether the water has risen, making it impossible to find an eel, let alone catch one.
We're going to the other side of the river. Not straight across, apparently we're going a little way upstream. What a little way is, I don't know exactly. I suspect a little way could even be an hour. Such concepts start to lose meaning here.
We make our way a little upriver. Before starting our trek into the jungle. I'm no stranger to dense tropical forest, but Ivan seems to slip through the undergrowth without effort.
We're heading off the path now.
We reach a pool where the hunters employ their first eel-catching technique.
They think that it's a wounded animal or something, apparently, this splashing sound. It's something that just gets their curiosity.
They begin to take up their positions.
When the water is just confined to small puddles, that's when they tend to just grab them with their hands.
The hunt moves into its next phase.
A pregnant woman doing the splashing in the water. This is more reliable in terms of calling the electric eels.
It seems improbable. But suddenly, all hell breaks loose. It's chaos as the hunters try to bring the fish into shallow water.
Right, I'm now in water.
I struggle to get close. The eel writhes to get free.
It's here.
Finally, Bushy, the man who brought me here,
I can see it, you can see it trembling,
holds a live electric eel in his bare hands.
He's just holding that, he's holding it.
I've seen what these fish are capable of.
I'm not too comfortable being this close. He says it is shocking. This is the fish that is responsible for killing people. And according to others, actually burning their skin. But looking at Bushy now, no sign of any burns. He's been holding this now for several minutes.
I'm left with two possible conclusions. Either the Matisse have special powers,
because they have this understanding that I don't completely follow, scientists don't completely follow.
or something else is responsible for the bizarre deaths.
Although Spirit Rock seemed barren during my dive, there's definitely life here now.
Oh, yes, that's a fish.
At last, I'm back in the game.
I'm worried about the line. This is an incredibly weak line.
But my rod is buckling under the strain. This is no lake trout. My prayers have been answered. I've hooked a muskie.
It's a massive muskie on 6-pound line. We're never going to get this in. I'm just going to let that drag go very loose.
My line just has to touch a rock, a tooth, or even the gill plate, and it'll snap.
We're going to try and get it near the boat. No, it's going down again. That's the fish.
Oh, she's huge. Keep her head down. That's a huge fish.
All my hopes are hanging on the slenderest of threads.
This is the monster from Spirit Rock. It's a big muskie. 6-pound line, tiny bait, sacred site, made the tobacco offering. That has to rank as one of the most extraordinary catches of my life. We have got a muskie.
I must have made over 13,000 casts, and it's only when I stop trying to catch one that a muskie finally bites.
That's the hook. That's the line. Look at that line, it's like cotton. And that was just in the corner of the mouth. That line, well, that's what happens to that line and teeth. That was me, my teeth.
It's 4 feet long and then some. By any standards, a very big muskie.
Here we go, fish of 10,000 casts, big old muskie.
So just looking at it, you can tell it's the supreme predator.
It just has this attitude problem. It's the absolute top predator of these waters, and it knows it.
This fish is a very impressive beast.
Back in the water.
But just imagine 3 or 4 of them at the surface, swimming in a tight-knit group. You could be forgiven for thinking you'd seen the lake serpent. This water, this location, all speaks to me of a fish I have spent a lifetime hunting. Rovin and Dennis have described the shape and habits of the monster fish that lives here. I almost dare not breathe its name. It sounds like a creature I have done battle with before, perhaps the mightiest freshwater fish of them all. But in this perfect isolation, could what I hope to confront actually be something new? But this lake hides more than just a monstrous fish. We are definitely not alone. A shape I recognize comes to investigate. It's a black caiman. I've already seen what these creatures are capable of, and it's unnerving having it so close.
This caiman keeps swimming up and down right in front of where I'm trying to fish. And one thing I don't want to happen is for it to get tangled in the line. That wouldn't be too clever. So I'm just trying to sink the line. I'll try to continue fishing while this is coming backwards and forwards. It's getting uncomfortably close, and it's actually pointing in my direction. This is interesting. Normally, it's the human being creeping up on the wildlife to have a look at the wildlife. Roles are a bit reversed here. This caiman seems far too interested in me.
But then, I suppose, we are the invaders in its domain. And like that anaconda, it seems that this beast has no fear of people whatsoever. But I'm here for another monster. The stakes are suddenly higher than I could have ever imagined.
Fish on, fish on!
It's not coming quietly. Out here, in this extreme isolation, I can't help but wonder if this beast is perhaps different from the Brazilian Arapaima with which I'm familiar. It's too big to try and haul it into the boat, so we're going to work it towards the water's edge. But this is it. This is why I'm here, if I can just get it in.
Can I give you the rod, Robin? As soon as I grab this, can I give you the rod? Okay.
I've caught the monster of the Lost Lake.
I knew it. Monsters do exist in this place. Wonderful, deep-bodied Arapaima.
It's the crowning glory of the greatest and most extraordinary monster hunt of my career. Finally, after perhaps the most punishing battle I have ever had, I land one of the biggest, strongest, and most alien freshwater fish I've ever seen.